Hello everyone, this is Helios Raven. I tell you how I do it, even if you don't care. Sorry about not having an episode up last week. I've been very busy working on a very special project for you guys later on at the end of the month, so apologize for that. And we're going to go on to our second video in making Battlefleet Gothic terrain. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is making the star map. As you saw in my game, we had a black mat with some white dots on it, and I feel, yeah, you could use just a plain table, but it kind of, again, gives more of that aesthetic feeling of a spacefaring battlefield. So, and it takes very little no time to make, and it can be used on any table, so why not? You use a piece of fabric, you try not to get something smooth, try to get something like cotton-based or something like that, or any fabric that's cheap. Just don't get anything that's really like shiny and smooth, because then the paint won't adhere to it. You want something that's a little dull, because that's gonna take the paint a little bit better. And then what you do is, I just use plain acrylic paint. You get it all nice and mixed up, and then you take a toothbrush, or a regular toothbrush like so, and you fill it with white paint. And then with your finger, you flick it across the board. And with these, sometimes you make these like little white smudges. I usually just smear them out to give like, look, maybe a passing comet going through. And that is basically all you do. And this is actually a very well used technique. This is actually, if you look in the Battlefleet Gothic book, this is actually how they make their star patterns on their battle mats. And it's a little messy, so you want to do it in a nice area where you won't get anything that you don't want paint on it to get paint on it. And you just let it sit, and when it's done, it folds up, it won't scrape, it won't stain, and you can take it basically anywhere. And then you just got a little bit of white paint on your hands. But since it's this cheap acrylic stuff that you get, like, at Joann's, Michael's, Pearl Paint, stuff like that, it washes off really easy with the cold with some water. And there you go. You got yourself a star-patterned battlefield. And like I said, the one that we used, I just fold up real easily. 1, 2, 3. I believe I used a sort of duck cloth on that one, a really more thicker fabric, but any one should work, as long as it's not really, shiny and like synthetic, like trying to be like silk and such, those kind of smooth fabrics. Just get like a nice dull cotton-based or duck cloth if you wish, and you can get a nice look with that. And let me just clean off my hands so we can go off to the next spot, so we'll be right back. Hello everyone, and we're back, and we're going on to asteroids. This is basically the last real major video display on terrain to build with Battlefleet Gothic, and it's also it's not as simple as planets, with just taking a styrofoam ball, painting it up, and putting it on a flight stand, but it is fairly easy. You take a styrofoam ball. I tend to use styrofoam balls because they're easier to carve into, because they're easier to make this like three-dimensional round shape look. And what you do is you either take a hobby knife or a foam cutter, and the foam cutter will give you more smooth looks. Like here's where'd it go? Like here's one that was made using a foam cutter, and it gets like this smooth look on it, which basically gets rid of the whole rock and crater feel that you're really supposed to get with a lot of this stuff. So I tend to use a hobby knife, and I just dig in, and I carve out pieces out of the styrofoam ball. Okay, and so it's this very odd shape looking thing. It's still like round, so you get like that chunk of like space rock look for it. And then you take a brush And usually what I do is I paint it black. Again, I just use acrylic paints because I don't feel like using my regular Games Workshop paint for this kind of stuff. And it also, I kind of just like how it looks on terrain a little bit better. And you paint it on. You're going to have to probably do a couple of coats because of all the holes on it. And you just got to really lay it on thick. And we are going to just hold on 1 second and jump in time. Okay, and so there we are. It's all done. And then all you just do is, I usually take brown, an acrylic brown paint, and just do a quick once over dry brush with it. And okay, and there you go, an asteroid. And it's all, especially with the styrofoam ball, it helps make all those little holes and crags that you see like in the Star Wars movies and other types of things, and it actually produces a pretty good effect if you ask me. And you know, if it's too dark or anything for you, you know, just put a couple of extra coats of brown on it, and that's basically it. And for flight stands, for supporting like your planets and such, with the terrain that you saw on my battle report, I used old flight stands from like Eldar vehicles and such that I wasn't using anymore. And for others, to produce more, because I didn't have enough, I actually took for the moons, I took dowel rods and glued them onto extra base stands that I had, and then just stuck them into the planets. And I also used toothpicks. I drilled holes into the little extra model stands, and then glued the toothpick onto it, and then used that to support the asteroids. Now, there's no right or wrong way to do flight stands. That's really all your personal opinion and what materials you have to work with. And that is basically it for the kinds of different terrain that you have to produce fairly good-looking terrain for Battlefleet Gothic. And I'll go over it one more time just so we can see it all. So for regular, like, just planets, we just use styrofoam balls and colored them up to look alien and planet-like. And usually I did giant tank flight stands. This is a Battlefleet Gothic one that I'm using right now just for the video. Just take flight stands to have them sit nice and proper by themselves. For dust clouds, you just take like white cotton, most like doll cotton and stuff, to make dust clouds. And if you want, you color them up to look like nebulas or celestial phenomena. The asteroids are just cut up styrofoam balls, then painted black with a coating of brown over them to give them more of a rockish type look. You could do gray, whatever colors you wish for those. And your battlefield map is really just a piece of fabric with a white dot spray done over it with using a toothbrush dipped in white paint and flicked with your thumb across the entire field. And that is literally basically all the real terrain tips I can give you for Battlefleet Gothic, because there's really nothing else. Like, you could use asteroids to make rings around planets. You could do any kind of little tech you want to make them more your own. And that is basically it. So our next video segment is going to be about the rules for Battlefleet Gothic, a little bit more in-depth. Instead of me and my friend just playing it, I'm going to explain them down for you. So until next time, this is Helios Raven, signing off.